Before we begin this afternoon's episode, I want to talk a little bit about a moment that I know has shaken a lot of Canadians, in particular conservative Canadians, over the last 24 hours. Yesterday, Charlie Kirk tragically lost his life at a rally in Utah. A husband, a father, a leader who dedicated his life to conservative values, free speech, and the belief that us ordinary people across the world, not bureaucrats, not elites, should guide the destiny of our countries. He was had his life ended for daring to stand on stage and speak his mind, to mobilize youth and preach conservative values. Politics cannot descend into this because once it does, it's no longer politics. It's tyranny by force. Democracy requires debate, it requires disagreement. It even requires anger at times. But it cannot survive bullets and blood. Charlie Kirk's family has lost a husband and a father. His friends have lost a comrade. Millions of conservatives across all around the world, but America in particular, and the world itself, have lost a voice who, agree or disagree with him, believed passionately in what he stood for. This kind of thing should never happen in a democracy, ever. And if we don't all take that to heart immediately, if we don't all commit to keeping politics inside the realm of words, debate, arguments, and elections, then we lose the very foundation of our freedoms. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And may his family know that countless people around the world mourn with them today. Welcome to Bakes on Things. Well, to begin this afternoon's episode, back here in Canada, we watched Prime Minister Mark Carney stand on a stage in Edmonton just moments ago, really, and announced that says his first wave of nation-building projects is underway. The list sounds impressive, too, on paper. An LNG expansion in Kitimat, a new small modular nuclear reactor in Ontario, a container terminal expansion in Montreal, a copper mine in Saskatchewan, and a gold and copper mine expansion in BC. These seem like some big projects that we might actually get underway. 5 big projects to be exact, coast to coast to coast. Are we finally seeing work done by Carney? Are we finally seeing a positive? Well, Carney and the Liberals want us to believe this is bold. They want us to believe this is transformative. They even compared it to the scale of change we haven't seen since the World War. In fact, World War II. That is huge talk, and we, you can bet, Mark, are going to hold you to that. But let's pull back the curtain, because what really happened here was the creation of another bureaucratic monster, the Major Projects Office. Here's the thing. We have a huge problem with bureaucracy already in Canada. Carney says that this office was created to streamline and fast-track approvals. And now we have our first 5 announcements. So here we go. Let's test this out. Because anyone who has lived in this country for more than 5 minutes knows the truth about things like this. Creating another office doesn't speed things up at all. It slows them down. It buries them under layers of process, under consultants and committees and further reviews. Now, the claim is this very office is the one to get them around those things, but I have a feeling we're going to see something different. Every project on this list, even the LNG expansion, which was already underway partially, now has to pass through this shiny new Major Projects Office. And that doesn't fast track, it delays. It's already a delay just by giving it to this office. Have we not noticed that? By moving these things and these projects under a new bureaucratic umbrella, Carney has effectively guaranteed that shovels will not be in the ground anytime soon. And we're going to test this out. Because we need to question, will any shovels have ever been put into the ground within the next year? What will we be saying next year, this time, September 11th? Because let's be brutally honest, LNG Canada Phase 2 is the only one that even had momentum before this announcement today. It might continue regardless, which is good because there's money, but there are buyers as well, and the infrastructure is already in place, of course. But a year from now, maybe, just maybe, you'll see real construction moving there. And that might be it. The rest, forget it. I guarantee you, we're going to see the same liberal baloney that we've always seen. The Darlington nuclear reactor project, the technology is still in pilot stages. No way it's breaking ground in a year. The Montreal container terminal, it's been talked about for years. Adding the major projects office only guarantees more studies, more consultations, more fights with environmental groups, and so on. The copper mine and the red Chris mine, well, mining approvals in Canada take a decade, folks, not a year. By 2026, you'll still be hearing speeches about progress. And there'll be excuses made that certain things have gotten in the way that have slowed things down. But don't worry, the major projects office will get that out of the way. All while workers wait for jobs that haven't materialized but were easily promised today. So we need to stop pretending in this country. This is a political theater beyond political theater. It's a list of maybes dressed up as a list of accomplishments. And that's not acceptable anymore. Pierre Poilievre has called this out numerous times now. Another office is more bureaucracy, and that's it. And it's an excuse to not get these projects in the ground. And here's the most important point. Even if, by some miracle, all of these projects broke ground tomorrow, do they solve the problems Canadians are facing right now? Do they make housing more affordable? Nope. Do they address the crime wave hitting our cities right now? People breaking into houses and doing other horrible things to people? Nope. Do they ease the grocery bills, the heating bills, the mortgage renewals, crushing families right now as they get them in the mail? Not a chance. See, these projects, in theory, and the mainstream media would have you believe, might be good for Canada in the long run. More energy exports, more trade capacity, more minerals for the global supply chain. That's fine if they get done. But Canadians don't live in the long run. They live in the here and now. How will I feed my kids today and tomorrow? People are priced out of homes. Parents are terrified of violent crime, and families are drowning in costs. None of that is addressed by this big, shiny announcement today. This was simply to reduce the amount of scrutiny on the Liberal government when Parliament begins on Monday. That's it. Carney is once again doing what Liberals always do, announcing things that sound historic, sound visionary, sound world class, but they don't touch the pain Canadians feel in their everyday lives. The price of your apples tomorrow have nothing to do with an LNG plant. They don't put a roof over your head. They don't make your neighborhood safer. They don't make your paycheck stretch any farther. Carney even admitted in his speech, change of this magnitude is never easy. It will take time. Translation, don't expect results anytime soon. Don't expect relief in the next election cycle. Just trust that the Liberals, while you suffer in the short term, have this covered. It doesn't work that way, Mark. Not anymore. We've seen you for 11 years. Not you personally, but the Liberals. And Canadians are sick of it. We've been told for years to wait for results, wait for the pipeline that never came, wait for the housing plan that never got delivered, wait for the crime reform that never happened. Now we're being told to wait for projects that are still stuck in bureaucratic paperwork, though they claim it will be a lot less. Doesn't matter. No shovels are in the ground. Shovels did not enter the ground today. The major projects office isn't about fast tracking anything. It's about controlling. It's about making sure everything flows through Ottawa, where bureaucrats and Liberal appointees get to decide the fate of entire industries in this country. And every time that happens, Canada falls farther and farther behind the world. It's completely unacceptable. It's not enough. And these projects need to begin now. But more so, the Liberal government needs to pivot to actual things that help Canadians today. Because here's the truth. Carney's 5 big projects are not nation building. They are nation delaying. They are wrapped in red tape and sold as progress. And by putting them all under this new major projects office, Carney has guaranteed that the first phase of his so called vision will be a phase of waiting and not building. A year from now, you won't see shovels in the ground. You won't even see approvals in their mailboxes. You'll see more speeches, more panels, more excuses. And while liberals pat themselves on the back for their vision and this huge announcement today, Canadians will still be waiting for housing they can afford, for streets they can feel safe on, and for the relief from the crushing costs of living that the liberals have created over the last 11 years. None of that changes today. So if you thought this was leadership, nope. This is political theater, again, in a different format. We all deserve better than this. We'll catch you tomorrow.